Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 863, World Cup price gouging and Champions League semifinals. Hello, Big Chillians, and welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. I'm Frank, joined as always with Eddie. Eddie, how's it going?
Yeah, things are going pretty well. How are you doing?
Doing all right. I forgot to tell you, we blew by Vasilis's birthday, and we had that downer moment, and I said I hadn't messaged him. I wanted to give you an update that I did message him and said, happy birthday. Hope you had a lot of fun. And he said, thanks, buddy. It was chill.
A lot of detail there.
Yeah. That was it. It's as far as we got.
Yeah, I mean...
He said, how are you, later, and I said, good. And then that was it.
How big of a gap was there until he said, how are you?
Doesn't look like much.
Okay.
A few minutes.
All right, that's acceptable.
Yeah.
But no, no, it's legitimate, it happens over time. I've been pretty good in my life in maintaining friendships. I've moved around a lot and yet still managed, I have friends from high school where since high school we've never lived in the same country, I'm not one of those people who really believes in the we can never talk, but once we see each other, it's the same as it ever was. I don't buy that. There's definitely people who I speak to less frequently because we don't live in the same country. And I know that if we did, then we would speak more and see each other more. That's a different type of, there's that. But when you just have the complete lack of conversation at all, to me at that moment, there's a moment in time where you go, I'm not sure we're friends anymore.
I have one friend that I can do that with, that we don't really speak. Like, we text occasionally, maybe like once or twice every other month. But then, like, if I go and hang out with him, it's like we can just chat about anything. Like, there's like no, but that's because that was like my childhood friend. You know what I mean? That I grew up with. So I know everything about his family and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, probably not.
But also too there, I suppose the implication is if you lived in the same place, you would speak more frequently.
Yeah, for sure.
There are definitely people who I'm friends with who I think, if I moved to the same city as them, or in the very least the same country as them, then we would speak more than we do right now. But to a large extent, some point of the friendship dissipates when you can't even go, hey, do you want to meet up? Do you want to do something? Whatever. There's only so much conversation you can have if you're never seeing each other with a lot of people. And that to me is understandable.
Do you think there's a lot of people that wish you would just stop texting them and give up?
To be honest with you, I don't text that many people. I really don't. But there are definitely people we have who don't do a good job of responding to some of those text messages when I do send them. So
do you think there are two Asian women that we met many years ago in the Paris bars that are like, I wish this guy would stop texting me once a year to remind me of a picture?
I haven't sent that message in years. I think you sent it more recently than I did. But I think that because I stopped getting that particular reminder, it's only because of that. It's only out of the fact I don't know when it took place anymore. So it's not I don't really use Facebook much, so I don't get the Facebook memory.
I know when it took place. It took place. We had the trophy, so it took place shortly after. It was when I was leaving Paris, so it was like.
Well, you left
April,
in June, June,
May,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was May 2013, right?
And they're still haunted by that night.
The anniversary is coming up. It's fast approaching. We'll see. If Facebook decides that this is a memory worth still savoring, then maybe they'll get a message. But I think they don't mind that. That's all in good fun. But no, we have other friends. I mean, obviously, I take on some of the logistical responsibility of planning trips at times. And Vasilis always treated it like I loved doing that. He always was like, Eddie loves it. Eddie loves it. He loves it. Like he loves chasing me. He would tell me this at times. He'd be like, you love this. You love doing this. It's like I don't hate planning a trip, but I also get no satisfaction out of it. I just do it because that way it's done. And otherwise, and sometimes it makes the most sense for me to do it because I might be the kind of connective tissue between
Yeah.
various people coming on the trip. So to ask you to do it when you may not have known, like you didn't know Adrian before he came on the trip. It's a little bit weird to sort of when you then have to go through me anyway to get that contact. But yeah, we're the Breeders' Cup tickets go on sale next week, so we're I suppose planning on attending the Breeders' Cup as usual. Although this will be the first time that we go that it's in Kentucky.
Yeah,
Um,
which will be a change because I think I honestly think half the draw of going to the Breeders' Cup is you get to go to Southern California in October when it's really nice and you get to escape. I mean, for me, it didn't matter much at the time because I was living in Arizona, but even then, going to Southern California is nice, for a few days to go to San Diego or something. Now it seems a lot more fun being in Minnesota and being able to go to San Diego or LA for a few days and hang out. But unfortunately, it's doing its return to the East versus West Coast every year type of thing, and going back to Kentucky, which we'll see. I mean, I'm sure Keeneland will be really nice as a track, and I'm sure people will get really into it, which is something that's will probably be a little different than I think in Southern California. There was a lot of people there who I felt like were very casual fans versus here. I feel like there'll be a lot more horse racing fans, which is not always the best thing, I guess, but we'll see. Not as excited about it being in the South versus San Diego.
No, for sure. Like I loved the week we would spend in San Diego just because it's such a nice place. And so it did feel
There's
like
a
a
hot dog stand you love. That's all you care about.
it's not a stand, all
one
right?
hot dog,
It's a
one hot
physical
dog restaurant.
it's a hot dog bar.
If
It's
I hot dog
people
bar.
yeah, that's basically is what it is.
That sounds
So
so. That sounds worse than a hot dog stand.
if well, I recommend everyone go out of their way to go there when they go to San Diego. But I agree with you, like, it felt more of a sort of pure vacation that happened to have the Breeders' Cup as part of it versus this I mean, I've never been to Kentucky, so there'll be the interest there of kind of seeing a new place. The fact that it's not returning to the West Coast for 4 years, right? Because it's sort of doing 3 consecutive years on the East Coast
Because
to
that's what it
catch
did
up
in
on
the
the
West Coast. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of a downer, like that's I did like I would not be opposed to the idea of the Breeders' Cup being exclusively held in at Santa Anita or Del Mar. Like that to me would be amazing. The only benefit I can see for this for me is slightly less travel. Like you're not
I
gonna
don't know though because you're not going to be able to connect at all. Versus if it when it was in Santa Anita, you could kind of go direct to LA. Here, you're going to have some weird connection that might be like a 4 hour layover.
So Sam and I discussed this months ago. So when I got back from the Breeders' Cup back in last November, and he messaged me to ask how it was, and then he said 100% he was in for the next year. We discussed where it was. He was excited about that. We went through the logistics and the plan that he came up with, that he and I agreed on, was the idea that we were going to fly Dublin to Cleveland, drive from Cleveland down to Kentucky because it's
Whoa,
not that far to Lexington. It's not that far of a drive. We would rent a car and
it's
do
kind of
do that
far,
drive.
isn't it? It's got to be at least 8 hours.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
8 hours in a car with Sam.
No, it's 5 hours, just over 5 hours.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad at
So
all
let's
then.
call it realistically. Let's say it says we'll stop along the way. So let's say the actual drive will probably take us 8 hours with stopping for lunch and you know on that scenic route through southern Ohio and into northern Kentucky.
Oh,
But
beautiful.
you get to drive right through Cincinnati. That will be amazing. But the anyway, like still that would be kind of interesting. Although actually we were talking about driving to Louisville rather than
But wait,
Lexington.
I don't get why the flying into Cleveland? Why is it Cleveland that you want to fly into?
Well, because obviously I have other reasons to going to Cleveland either before or after
Oh,
the Breeders'
okay.
Cup.
Okay.
So the idea for me was like, well, it's difficult for me to go to Kentucky but not make a stop in Cleveland. So it was like, I'll
Okay.
probably be going to Cleveland either before or after anyway. And Sam
Yeah,
said,
that's unfortunate.
100% I'm on board. So then the idea was that we would sort of be dictated by if the Browns were playing a home game the weekend before, we would go to Cleveland early, go to a Browns game,
Wow.
and then
Whole week in Cleveland.
no, like 3 days. And if the Browns are playing home game the following week, then we would drive back to Cleveland and then do it that way. This is the plan we came up with.
This isn't gonna
Uh,
work.
well, so I then was looked because I knew how quickly hotels, everything around the Breeders' Cup, things gets booked so early
Yeah.
that I was like, I better just make some kind of preemptive booking on a hotel, even if we have to modify the booking in the future. And so I was speaking to Sam while I was doing this, and then we kind of discussed everything in Lexington. The weekend of the Breeders' Cup is gone. Like
Yeah, we looked. I
Lexington,
remember you and I both looked like as very, very early,
yeah,
and it was booked. I think it was actually as soon as we got back
yeah,
from the Breeders' Cup in October, we looked and they had already been booked.
yes. So Lexington is full. So then I've just booked like 3 hotel rooms in Louisville for basically the week of the Breeders' Cup, which was it's not too bad of a drive. So it adds a little bit of a like, but fair enough. Like we can work that out. Sam was so in on this because I was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna put it's I don't have to pay you the full rooms now, and they're I can cancel them, but I have to make a down payment." I was like, "Do you want to contribute to this down payment, Sam? Because you are so 100% in on this trip that like this is definitely something you're gonna do,
Yeah.
right?" And he was like, "100%, I'll do it. We'll split the down payment." So he and I split the down payment on this room. Then, like a
Wow.
month later, he asked me for the money back. And he was and
That's
also
amazing.
kinda treated it as a little bit as if treated it as if I hadn't he kind of ignored the reason why we had done this. You know, it was like, "Do you remember when I sent you that money? Could you send it back?" I was like, "Yeah, it was for the down payment on the hotel." He was like, "Do you mind if you send it back?" I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. I'll send it back." And then I was like, "But you're still coming to the Breeders' Cup, right?" He's like, "Yeah, 100% still in." Now, I've
That's
obviously
amazing.
I've obviously created this group chat, which has you, myself, David, who came to the Breeders' Cup last year, Olivier, who's come to the Breeders' Cup 2
2
previous
years.
years, and then Sam, who's never been. I put the 5 of us in a group chat to sort of start speaking about it because the presale is next week. And
Week.
as we've also learned from experience, if you don't buy tickets during the presale, slim
Nope.
pickings on tickets, especially if we want to get
Yes.
5. Like
And then they get
you can
expensive. Like you have like one of two. If you don't get them quickly, you have one of two options. Either you get like the really shitty seats that don't really come with anything that are cheaper, but they're like restricted, or you have to pay almost double what you were gonna pay to get an actual seat because all the cheaper actual seats sell out pretty quickly.
yeah, which in California worried me less because we were gonna be dealing with nice weather no matter what. So you sort of can be a little bit more loosey goosey about it. Kentucky, we might have
Who
kinda shit
knows?
weather in
Might be a
November.
tornado.
Yeah. So, like
Get one next to the tornado shelter just in case.
so I want cover just on the off chance it's raining. Although so yeah, we need to get them early, especially to get 5 tickets because the only other alternative is to do it super late and hope on the secondary market that which I've experienced because I've tried to sell a ticket the last 2 years in a row. The secondary market does not move particularly quickly.
No,
So
it does not.
it's this weird thing where like the tickets sell out, but then basically there's whatever it is, there's 32,000 people who want tickets and there's 31,500
That's it.
seats. And
They are
it's
perfect on demand.
yeah. So anyway, so David, who's yet to respond, but who does usually listen
No,
to the
no, wait.
podcast.
Just I think we should start by saying you texted the group the details. I responded to your text to clarify what the act
Date.
because you said the date was around the same, and I said it's October 31st, like that's the definitive date. And I replied back, and that was a day and a half ago, and no one else has replied.
No. No, it's everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen the message because they can look. You can look on WhatsApp and you can see who read it and when.
Everyone's
David,
read it, everyone's acknowledged it, and no
yeah,
one's took the 10 seconds to fucking respond.
and just say either in, out, or maybe. All three
Maybe
are acceptable
anything.
answers. Like,
What are the prices? What are we
yeah,
thinking? How many days? Let
nothing.
me talk to someone.
Yeah, because David is the most complicated out of the three. He's married and he has two children. So I understand that for him, planning this months ahead of time, because I don't know in that instance, is it better? Because it gives you more time to like get your calendar sorted, or is it I don't know what life will be like with my two kids, 8 months from
In a
now.
new
So
house.
yeah, so it's hard for me to say yes.
Yeah.
But all of that's understandable. David, I give the biggest pass of all of them. He's also, I think, work-wise, the busiest. So he's someone who does read a message and then I think forgets that he's read it because he just gets caught up in things.
Yeah.
Sam and Olivier neither have children, wives, husbands, anything. And I don't even think their jobs are that time consuming.
Oh, what a double burn.
And what is amazing about it is Sam just never responds. Olivier eventually responds, but then treats it as if I've inconvenienced him by
Yeah.
like
What do
including
you
him in
want to
the
know,
plan.
Eddie? What is it that you want to know? I
Yeah.
want to know if you want me to plan your entire trip to Kentucky in 4 months. Just a
Yeah.
yes or a no.
Yeah. Just do you want your own room? Are you happy sharing rooms? Do you want me to book your flight? Like the offer is sometimes for me to handle all of it. But yeah, he we'll see. And with Olivier, I imagine he will come. Sam says he's 100% in. I even followed up with Sam individually, I believe. And I didn't actually. I take that back. I won't lie. I thought I had. But no, yeah, we'll see. We'll see who is the first to respond. David now is odds on favorite because not only is he the most likely to respond in the first place, but he'll now listen to this episode and hopefully that will make him respond.
I was gonna say he's the most adult of the remaining people.
Oh, by far. Long shot. Like the, I have very few friends who I would categorize as full functioning adults. David's one of the few. You are also one of the few.
Yeah.
I Some of them have like 80% of the components, but are just missing, like Tim can present as a fully functioning adult, but we know that
Tim
he
has the
doesn't have
kids and the wife and the house,
in the
but he's
job.
just a sociopath.
Yeah, psychopath probably. But, so we have a mixture of friends. And then we have ones like Vasilis who are, I don't know, 10% of a functioning adult, 15. It's unclear, but
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm in.
yeah. And as am I. I mean, assuming that World War III hasn't started or prices of transatlantic flights aren't suddenly like 25,000 euros one way because
Oh,
of.
I mean, so I just booked 2 flights for 2 trips I have. I did premium economy for both because they are longer flights. Both direct. So Minneapolis to London and Minneapolis to Tokyo. Minneapolis to London was $5,200 for premium economy. It was 3,000 for just main cabin. That is insane. To Tokyo was 1,500 main cabin, 4,000 premium economy. It is almost half the price to fly double the distance to Tokyo than it is to fly to London right now. It is crazy.
I guess the one thing you should say is you're flying to London in June.
June and Tokyo in October, but Tokyo in October is supposed to be like when you go is like around that time.
Yeah, but still, one's like peak tourists,
Yes, yeah.
like summertime people
But
planning
a
trips. You're
Sunday to
also a little
Thursday
less
flight.
You're
Like
also a
that's a
little
little
last
weird.
minute. You're like you're like in the worst actual time to book a flight because you're not early enough to benefit from cheap flights and you're not late enough to possibly get this flight
Yeah.
isn't selling. But
Yeah. I mean the more crazy difference was for the like first class, the lie downs. To do it for London round trip was $12,000. For Tokyo round trip was $5,000 or $6,000. Like when you consider that your lie down in Tokyo will be about 25 hours and the lie down time for the London trip will be about 12 to 13, that is crazy that it's double the price.
Yeah. No, that's
So, yeah.
a lot.
Ascot, not cheap.
No. Yeah,
Tickets
but
going up, flights going up.
looking ahead, I just did a quick search of what the flights would be. They're not too bad. So, David, don't worry. If we book flights early enough at the moment, we're only looking at we could get flights for under €1,000.
Nice. And then
Economy,
also, I
obviously.
think the NFL schedule, I actually took a look, drops in May, mid-May. So we can figure out what we want to do in terms of going to a game. I think we have pretty good options between Minnesota, Cleveland, or the Giants.
New York.
Those are like three good options that at least one team has to be playing a home game, or maybe multiple. You could do like one in the front and one in the back. That would be kind of cool too. But there's at least a
Maybe
decent
2 in the same
opportunity.
day.
Maybe do all three.
You hope for, like, one of them's Thursday night football, one of them's Sunday night football, one of them's
Sunday.
Monday night football, and you
Amazing.
hit prime time.
Amazing.
But, yeah, no, it should be good. We'll see. Sam will be the
And
interesting
we're
one. He is getting
closer too.
Yes.
Like it's almost reasonable that if we did like Saturday at Breeders' Cup and we want to do like a Sunday football game, we could potentially make it somewhere to do that. If it
Yeah,
were like a
especially if it's
later
not the
game.
early game. Yeah, the afternoon or Sunday night game would be very realistic. The only downer is that Kentucky has no professional sports teams. It is a black hole for everything other than college basketball and I guess semi-college football, but not even really.
And horse racing.
And horse racing. There's a chance we might be able to sneak in a college football game.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Like there could be University of Kentucky could be playing a home game, and that could be like possibly fun to go to. But yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see if Sam he's getting price gouged out of the World Cup, so we'll see. Maybe that's eating up his entire Breeders' Cup budget. Now that
Did
New
you
York
see
has
the
also decided to increase train ticket
No, New
prices.
Jersey that was. New Jersey
Yeah.
Transit, the train to New York, which is normally $13, they have moved up to $100 a ticket. I mean, which is insane.
Outrageous.
Imagine you have a family of 4. You're now going from paying just about $50 to paying $400 to just get there to watch a game.
And here's my question. Because obviously some people will be using that anyway for a normal commute. Are they buying passes that mean they're unaffected by these price increases?
I don't know.
Or is that
Honestly, I
just
bet
like,
you
can't come to work this week, I'm losing money
yeah,
if I show up?
I bet you it's on the game days that I bet you on game days they are probably gonna do like the, "Hey, like, work remote," type of thing. Like, we saw what happened, just
Sir,
work
I
remote
stack shelves
today.
in a supermarket. How do I do that from a distance? Or like what's happening?
Tough luck.
Are they providing passes to like people who have volunteered to work in the stadium and stuff? Like, or is it,
Yeah, I don't
hey,
know.
you're pretty pleased with that concessions gig that you got that's paying $16 an hour. Also factor in $200 of round trip transport costs.
It's
like,
crazy.
like, but yeah,
I hope it's better than that. I hope it's like like you have to show that you have a ticket to the match and then they charge you.
What's best about this too, speaking about our friends. So obviously you'll have spoken to our friend Furlong about this too. He is loving how much these prices are getting increased. He loves the fact that Sam is just getting absolutely fucked by these prices going up and up. And he is loving the fact that he will be in New York well, New Jersey during this period anyway to visit family, and that he is going to. He is very much planning on getting a ticket for a fraction of the cost that Sam paid to attend the same game. And I
And like a
think
free ride.
yes. And I say this as someone who fairly recently had a child. I don't think I've seen anything make him happier in the last several years than this prospect of just being able to pay a small fraction of what Sam is paying for the same experience.
It's really funny. Again, as someone who's on the outside just watching, it is slightly enjoyable just to see someone's like plans of having fun just getting demolished.
Oh yeah.
Just
I was trying to explain it to I was talking to some people about the World Cup and like would I go and how I felt about it going into it and the costs associated and because I think it was on one of the days where the news had come out about one of the various price increases or maybe them hiding the sort of seating plan and stuff. And I was explaining Sam and how he'd been planning this for years and he'd been attending England home matches to be able to get his sort of status within the England fan group to be high enough to be guaranteed to get tickets and that he'd even attended away matches in order to kind of get the status that he felt like he needed. And
for
that
I guess for listeners who haven't been following along, this has been like a multi-year process that
yes.
Sam has dedicated his life to, going to like obscure England qualifying matches to get like credit to be eligible to get in like the pool to get England's allocation of tickets to the World Cup. It's been
I
a
think his
lengthy process.
I think he's attended 70 or 80% of England home matches over the last 3 years, including friendlies, and he went to 1 or 2 away games as well, which was a requirement. And the idea behind this is this that if you hit certain tiers within the England Fan Association, whatever it gets called, is that it not only guarantees you tickets, but also locks you into maybe being slightly more favorably priced tickets. So, for example, there are a group I read an article about them the other day in the Athletic or something. There's something like 600 of the very top tier, the people who never miss a match, home or
Huh.
away. And those people, if England are to make the World Cup final, they're guaranteed a ticket at something like £60. Like
Nice.
that's what they get. Now, what still doesn't make
That's the scam. That's
yes,
like who knows if that's even real? That's like those gimmicks. What is that thing? Like the deal or not thing where like a new PS5 for 10 cents on auction and you keep like bidding till it goes up and then you found out you've actually paid like 3 times as much for it and it never really is ever cheap as they advertise.
but this is the thing, right, too, and look, if you love going to the games home and away, but a lot of these people were talking about how they have real jobs, and this is a real pain, and they have families, and that they sacrifice a lot in order and for some of them, it's a status thing where literally they don't even care about the benefit, they just like being
I
in
want to be
the
that
elite of the
600.
elite, and it's sort of
I know
reminiscent in
that
a
feeling.
sense yeah, it's like a credit card thing where it's like,
Delta Platinum, I'm
"Hey,
coming for you.
yeah, but it's like a credit card where it's like, oh, someone's explaining to you, like, no, the credit card makes perfect sense. Like, it's $700 a year, but you get cash back on this, and then you get miles and points and blah blah. Blah. And like, you're kind of running the calculation in your head. It's like all those benefits that you say you're getting. If you just didn't do any of the stuff you're doing in order to try and get those benefits, you could just afford outright. Like
Yeah.
this, it's like, oh, so you spend tens of thousands of pounds a year watching England play football just on the off chance that they make the World Cup final, it will be somewhat affordable for you. If you just didn't attend a single match, saved all that money, you could have a suite for the World Cup final, like, and not
Yeah.
be at all bothered about the cost of it. Like it's insane to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I was explaining to these people Sam's circumstances and how he was excited about it, and then he kind of tried to get other people potentially involved in going, and basically everyone passed. And then now as it's getting closer and closer, sort of everyone who passed on it feels a little smug about the fact that, like, turns out this was a bad idea. Like, on paper, US World Cup sounded like a great thing to road trip around the US and get to see some games, but maybe not. I'm sure he'll have a great time.
I can't wait to go see him at a match. I'm gonna pay $50 and go see him.
Well, I mean, here's the other thing too, is I also fully. Uh, it wouldn't surprise me if at a certain moment in time he just bails on the idea that he just
And then I'll
sells.
take
We
his
just
ticket.
he's,
Even better
but you know
for free.
that like if I set an odds market on it, I would say he's 10 to 11 to be attending both matches. He's like 2 to 1 that he will attend one of the two matches, and then will claim that he sold the other ticket and that it paid for the attending the other one. I think this is the most likely outcome, even though we would all then immediately go and look at the secondary market and be like, they're selling for less than face value, so this doesn't make any sense. But we'll have to see.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I will go to one. Because Furlong will be home. So maybe I'll go with him for a match. I'll have to see when I go home for like summer if I can plan that accordingly.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up the logistical talk at the
The
top of
travel
the
part of our
podcast.
podcast.
For new listeners, that might don't worry. The podcast doesn't usually start with half an hour on us coordinating various trips.
But it could if that's what you're interested in. Let us know.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Leave feedback. If all you want is just travel tips and us to really detailed breakdowns of costs of flights, costs of trains. I mean, I've got a few trips coming up over the next couple of weeks, so we can speak about those. So
Perfect. Yes, I do as well. I'm gonna have to say though, if listeners didn't find that entertaining, then they surely didn't find Arsenal Sporting entertaining because talk about a boring.
yeah, it was tough for the second week in a row. We spoke about it last week. It was true this week. The fact that it was juxtapositioned next to a really exciting Bayern Real Madrid match where
It
there were
was
goals, last
yeah.
minute drama, and then you just had this bore draw between Arsenal and Sporting.
And it really pit this is this is why now I'm kind of getting invested in anti-Arsenal because it pissed me off because I was actually home during the second half because we had other things to do, so I had to be home, and I said, "Oh, let me put on oh, it's still 0-0. Let me put on the Arsenal Sporting. It's close, like you kind of have to watch it." And I had to sit through and watch that boring ass slop of a match when on the other channel I've got Bayern and Real Madrid just going back and forth, chance after chance, like off the post, like 1 foot away, blah, 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 like back and forth, great match, corners, free kicks, nice hits, good plays. And then, but you can't turn off the Arsenal match because you kind of want to see Arsenal blow it, but they just don't blow it. They kind of just hang on and do what they need. And it was so frustrating to then see at the very end of that the Bayern match the red card, then the goal, and then the other really nice goal at the end to kind of super seal it. Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, I was flicking between the two, knowing that I was missing a much better game for the same reasons as you described. It felt like I kind of had to watch. And I was hoping that Sporting would score just to justify the time that I was committing to watching the match. So in the very
Yeah,
least, it would be like, oh, it's going to go to extra time. Like I made the right decision. Like I was smart to watch some of this game, and Sporting probably had the better chances over the course of the match. And then at the last kick of the game had a reasonably decent chance, but yeah, they just neither team really entertained. I'll level some criticism at Sporting. I think in the last 5 or 10 minutes when they needed to just be throwing everyone forward, they kind of weren't. I mean, they sent their central defender up, but then immediately gave the ball away. But you really thought, like, are you aware of the fact that you're going to be knocked out 7
yeah.
minutes from now? Like, I admire the
Or are you
confidence that
okay with just saying like we almost beat Arsenal and went through, we held them 0-0?
Yeah, which is what it sort of felt like, that they were gonna take this moral victory, that's what they were gonna like, "Oh, you guys got lucky. Kai Havertz scored your winner in injury time of the first leg, and had that not happened, this would have been nil-nil over 180 minutes, and we would be going to extra time." Which is probably realistically, on the balance of things, what should have happened. And this is the thing I'll say, like, to Arsenal supporters who are so unhappy with the amount of criticism being thrown their way, I kind of get it. Like, it's uncomfortable. You want your team to win, even if you acknowledge how boring they are. But you're getting plenty of opportunities to prove me wrong, the wider public wrong. Like, you could have gone out last night and put on a show against Sporting and won 4-0 in a Champions League quarterfinal and said, like, look, we can entertain, we can play good football. We're not just grinding out results. And you're going to have another chance this Sunday against City to do exactly the same thing, to go out, be the better team. Because the way I feel now, the quarterfinal against Sporting, I think has proven it to me, and the last few weeks just in general have. Regardless of what happens over the last month or so of this season, you will never be able to convince me that Arsenal are the best team in England, and you definitely won't be able to convince me that they're the best team in Europe. Even if they win the Premier League and the Champions League, I just won't buy it. They won the titles. That's fine. Not every Champions League winner is the best team in Europe. Not every Premier League winner historically has been the best team in England. City are better than them in England, and there's like 10 teams that are better than them in Europe. So yeah, my opinions, the notable statistic from that Arsenal Sporting match is that it had the lowest XG 0.96 of any Champions League match this season.
Awesome. I love XG.
Statistically the most boring match played in the Champions League this year.
Yeah,
And
makes
look,
sense.
you can do a really positive spin, the Arsenal is back-to-back semifinals, which is the first time they've pulled that off in their history. They've kept 8 clean sheets out of 12 in the Champions League, 12-game unbeaten streak in the Champions League. They haven't conceded a goal in 337 minutes of European football. Like, that's all impressive. But then fundamentally, it's so boring that I don't know if we should consider it all that impressive. And they haven't also, they've not even been tested
Played.
against, well, not being tested by the best teams either. And that's not their fault. That's the draw. They played who they played. But it's not as if, they've just kept back-to-back clean sheets against Bayern Munich. They kept them against Sporting. It's not quite the same feat.
Yeah. Sporting and Leverkusen, right?
Yeah. And I mean, look, I'll take some hate away from Arsenal. I've criticized the new Champions League format fairly relentlessly. I got another thing. Something has to be done about PSG's ability to move matches prior to Champions League fixtures. Like, it is not fair that, you know, the Premier League takes the hardest line of all the big leagues. Matches don't get moved at all. So, if you're due to play on a Saturday night and you've got a Champions League match on Tuesday, tough. That's the way the fixtures fell for you.
That's the way the
PSG,
cookie crumbles.
yeah, PSG, they moved their match ahead of the quarterfinal against Barcelona in 2023-24. They then postponed their match again prior to the semifinal against Dortmund. They postponed their match prior to the quarterfinal this week. I'm sure they'll do the same ahead of the Bayern Munich match. And they're not only are they being allowed to do that by Liga and by UEFA fundamentally, but it also doesn't cause them any issues, because even if you allowed, say, Arsenal to now move those matches around, they might not want to postpone a Premier League match and then face a week, in the future where they have to play 3 Premier League matches in the space of 6 days, because they would just think they'll throw away the league because of that. Whereas PSG are in this fortunate position where by the time the Champions League hits the most crucial stage, their league campaign, they're all but champions at that stage anyway. And so they can afford to sort of punt, which is the thing that annoys me about them being allowed to move the games, is that just play your B team in Ligue 1. Just throw away the match. If that's what you want to do, rest everybody. Why are you also being allowed to move the games? La Liga kind of does the middle ground where it lets teams move a game to the Friday night so that you get the extra day's rest. That didn't work for Real Madrid, who failed to win on Friday in La Liga and then failed to win in the Champions League either. But UEFA has to step in here and say there is some rule or requirement that you cannot move matches ahead of or between Champions League ties. It's just not fair.
Yeah, that is completely unfair, and it's such an advantage. And like you can see it's an advantage, right? I mean, they
It plays
consistently
out.
do well.
It's Spain and now France, they do better than England, and then, I obviously I'm in Paris and PSG fans are crowing and speaking about, like, "Oh, we just beat the English Premier League champions. We embarrassed them." Okay, if you wanna call Liverpool take a look at the league table. Liverpool are doing a good enough job of embarrassing themselves on a consistent basis. They don't need Champions League quarterfinals in order to do that. But Liverpool, if they'd had a few more days rest, if I don't think it would have made a difference. But certainly, I'm sure Bayern Munich would love the idea of not having a match in between their semifinal against PSG. They will have a match. PSG won't. I'm
Yeah.
certain of it. That doesn't seem fair to me. We'll see. I hope Bayern Munich win. I cannot. If it's a PSG Arsenal final, I don't know what I'll do. I really don't know what I'll do. I might I might go to Kentucky then, to be honest with you. That might be I might go and spend a weekend in May in Kentucky just to avoid the Champions League talk. It will be
You can go to Paris,
insufferable.
Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to build like a Faraday cage within my own house and just live in it for a few days, but I don't know.
And now we're talking like the
Oh,
Prestige.
yeah,
You're gonna make
just
top hats?
something. Yeah. Let's just give me something so that I don't have to live through the possibility of a PSG. But Bayern Munich, Arsenal, I'll take. And if Arsenal beat Bayern Munich in a final, fair play.
Oh.
Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, okay. Any other combination will not be enjoyable.
I mean, Bayern Munich are unbeaten in their last 14 matches, I think. So they are they are cooking on all cylinders to combine metaphors.
Yeah. They look really good. They are the best team in Europe. I think
Yeah.
they're defensively pretty good. Going forward, they're incredibly good, and they have so many options. Harry Kane, I also think, is the best player in Europe at the moment. So
Wow.
I
High
so I
praise going into
think
the World Cup.
yeah, I don't know if it will necessarily translate to the World Cup because of what England asked him to do, and obviously the drop off in talent surrounding him in England, which is not something that we expected to say, but
Yeah.
we've not really spoken about it, but it, it looked like England had just a wealth of options to play around
Yeah.
Kane,
The best
and then now,
midfield, that a year ago we discussed that they had such good midfielders. How are they going to put everyone out there? And now it's a more of a like, who can they put out there?
yeah, I mean, none of them are in form really. Phil Foden, who
Uh,
I've long believed to maybe be the most talented player in English football in a long time, looks like he may not even make the World Cup squad, which
that's
is
crazy.
would have been unimaginable 2 years ago, unless you said injury was involved. But you know, Cole Palmer's out of form. I mean, the only person really who's in form is Marcus Rashford. Like, but realistically, he's the best. He's the most informed wide player, English wide player in world football.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see if he is given the chance. But kind of everyone else, Saka, I mean, is barely
Jude
playing
Bellingham,
at the moment. Jude Bellingham's coming back from injury, but isn't playing that well either. There's
Declan
fucking
Rice.
he's well, and I'll say that too. And this is not Declan Rice's fault. He got a little bit done by the camera work at the end of the Arsenal match. The fact that it cut to him and did like a long still just on his face while he sort of emotionally stared around the stadium and looked like he was about to cry but wasn't quite crying. I get it. Winning a Champions League quarterfinal. I mean, if that's me, I'd be so happy and it would probably be a very emotional experience. There's just that thing about this Arsenal team where it just doesn't feel like it feels like the moment's too big for them. Because I don't think if we just watched Manchester City win a Champions League quarterfinal, it would have cut to Holland, and he would have been sort of emotionally staring around the stadium, trying to sort of soak it all in. It would have gone, yeah,
Yeah.
of course we beat Sporting in a Champions League quarterfinal. Like that's what we're supposed to do. Now we'll go on to the next test. Like we've got to see if we can basically win the Premier League on Sunday. Yeah, we'll see. Sunday, What's your prediction for Sunday then? Manchester City, Arsenal.
Ugh, I'm all in on City. City, you know what I'm gonna do, Eddie? A little City halftime, City
Oh
over
no.
2.5, Holland to score.
Now you see that actually makes me happier because it would worry me, the Duke of Curse, if you were just going straight out. If you were just telling yourself, "Oh, City are like, 4 to 5 to win. I'll just go all in on City to win." The fact that they can win the match but screw over your bet is
Oh,
immensely
no, no,
reassuring to me.
halftime, full time. Halftime, full time.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but that means it can be 0-0 at halftime and City win the second half 7-0, scoring
Okay.
in, like, literally immediately from kickoff in the second half, and your bet can lose, but they can win the match and really spice up the Premier League title race. Speaking of Duke of Curse, you sent a message in one of the group chats that we were in whilst Arizona, the University of Arizona men's basketball team, was sort of beating all challengers, kind of sweeping them aside on the way to the Final Four and heading into the Final Four. You sent me a message of, "Aren't you going to bring this up about the Duke of Curse and how I leave Arizona and suddenly they're good?" And what immediately happened as soon as you acknowledged the existence, they lost.
Yeah, but it was the first time they've made the Final Four in a very long time. Like, they were notoriously terrible in the tournament, like, never getting
Yeah,
past the Sweet 16.
and once you acknowledge that fact, they were like, "Oh shit, there's this thing that's been holding us back for years. We now need to now need to blow this." Speaking of pressure, don't did you see, Rory McIlroy wears a Whoop all the time, and they released his Whoop data from the Masters.
I don't know how I don't get this. I feel like Whoop should be emailing me on a daily basis for things like this.
Yeah. So, what do you think his heart rate was as he took what was effectively the
The double
Masters winning
bogey?
putt?
Oh, I thought you were gonna
The
say the
lag
3 putt. I wanna know what
No,
it was
no,
when
the
he had that terrible 3 putt.
no, but the lag putt that set up the win, the sort of the putt that relieved the pressure when he got himself into winning position.
Can I get any references to, like, what his resting heart rate is? It's gotta be in the 50s, 60s.
So, his resting heart rate is 47 to 49 beats per minute.
Yeah. He's in pretty good shape. Um, Imma say it was kinda high, but not super high, so Imma say, like, 80. Say he calmed
His
himself
heart
down for the putt.
so yeah, I kind of expected something similar to you of like pressure's on, but that he's used to it and that he would probably have a process for reducing
Yeah,
heart
like a
rate and
breathing
really
routine.
yeah, you would have thought. His heart rate was 117 beats per minute as he took that putt.
Yeah, that's pretty high then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy high, but at the same
No.
time, you know, 2.5 times your resting heart rate for in a high pressure moment
Was
shows
that
that
his
you definitely
spike? Was
were
it like a was it a spike? Could you see it?
so his spike on Sunday, he hit 150 immediately after winning.
Okay.
So that's as high as he went. I have his data on his recovery. So whilst playing, his spike was on the 18th tee, his heart rate hit 135 beats per minute. His heart rate when he had the tap in putt to actually win dropped to 105 beats per minute. His recovery each
So he
day, because
did
that,
kinda calm himself then.
well, for the tap in putt, I mean, yeah, he'd done the hard work. He knew he wasn't going to miss the putt that actually technically won it, but he'd won it really with the putt before.
Did you see his steps? 24,000 steps on Sunday?
That to
That's
me
pretty crazy.
seems low.
Oh,
Like,
that sounds like a
uh,
lot.
yeah, but I mean, when you walk a golf course, you're guaranteeing like 10 to 15,000 steps, and then you just think everything else that he would have had to have done over the course of the day. Like he's getting there early, he's going to the range, he's doing all that. Then post win, he's going from one place to another to speak to media and stuff like that. I don't know. It seems a little low to me. His recovery date is interesting. So Whoop gave him an 89% recovery on Thursday, 79% recovery on Friday, 94% recovery on Saturday. So he slept
which makes
really
sense
well.
because he had a later tea time.
And he had a big lead. So
Yeah,
probably, like sleeping a little bit better. 87% Sunday.
which is still
And
pretty
then
good considering
Monday,
that's after 3 days.
yeah,
Monday, 20%.
Monday, 7% recovery.
Yeah, that's alcohol.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. As a constant Whoop user, nothing drains your recovery worse than alcohol.
Yep. So yeah,
But
that's
actually,
probably
so I just found that the interesting one is 18. So just to kind of break it down, it's pretty neat because on 18, after his tee shot hits the trees, it spikes to 135. Then he drops to 121 on the recovery shot. So like recovered well, but then went back up to 136 from the bunker. So he gets a little nervous hitting out of the bunker and then down to 117 on the first putt, the lag putt, and then 105 on the winning putt. And then, like you said, 150 after he wins. So pretty interesting that like the hitting into the trees kind of got him a little bit
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure it's going to give you a harder jump, regardless of how confident you are in your golfing abilities.
for things like that. Didn't really like give you any true insight into anything, but it's just still
No.
great to have the data. I love data.
Here's the interesting thing too, and like it's obviously something that I've been looking at through my Apple Watch and through the brief period in which I used the Whoop that you sent me. Resting heart rate. It's like a very misleading term because it is fully at rest, right? Like most of the time it's calculating when it's factoring
Resting.
in your sleep, like
Yeah.
you're doing nothing. It does sort of imply because then when you see that spike, it kind of makes it sound as if you're walking around heart rate, as if Rory McIlroy is walking around at 49 normally, and now he has this putt and it's 117. So that's just a huge jump. I feel like Whoop is kind of almost happy to perpetuate some of that bit of that myth and kind of thinking of the percentage increase, where in reality he's probably walking around with a heart rate
70.
at 70 something. And so yeah, he's getting a big leap, but he's not sort of comatose prior to stepping onto the golf course.
Yeah. So they should do like a resting heart rate and then like a everyday heart rate.
Yeah. Like cuz it's basically sleeping heart rate is what it's really telling you.
Yeah.
And it should tell you
Well,
sleeping
it is.
heart
It's
rate.
telling you it's your resting heart rate.
Well, no, but because you can view it as resting heart rate as in your heart rate when you are at rest, or resting heart rate as in sort of just your heart rate when you're not exerting yourself. And it's two it's like your heart rate when you're sitting on your sofa watching TV is not the same as what it would tell you your resting heart rate is. I can wrap my head around how they're calculating it, but it does seem to me to be like slightly less interesting data. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who then wear their Whoop and like will go into their doctor's office and maybe have their blood pressure taken and stuff and tell their doctor like, yeah, I have a resting heart rate of 54, and then they run the blood pressure and tell you like, oh, your pulse at the moment is 78. And like if you're just sitting there, that sounds somewhat unnerving to me. That you'd be like, why? If you're depending on the way you're interpreting that data, it's I don't know.
Well, Whoop also gives you your average heart rate. And it says, note that the average heart rate is different from your resting heart rate, which is measured while you're asleep.
Yes. No, I'm not saying that they're hiding this information from you. Like it's telling you how they calculate it. I just don't know if, really that's how people are thinking about it.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of steps. I can't believe you don't think that's a lot of steps. 25,000 steps,
How many steps do you do in the day normally?
like 6 to 8.
You live in America though.
I still walk a
I mean,
decent
like
amount.
it's three
25,000
o'clock.
steps is 11 to 12 miles.
But like it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here at time of recording. I've done 8,000 steps so far.
Where are you walking?
I
Just
walk my
walking
dog.
around, you're pacing your house?
Yeah, just walk laps, you know? But, that's my average on a day is 13,000, I think, something like that.
Wow. So according to my Whoop, my average is oops, 12,000 a
Okay.
day.
Yeah, my average is 12,764.
Yeah. But that's during the day. Like that's everything. That's him just
Yeah.
on the course walked 25,000.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but, like, I feel like if I walk a golf course, I'm walking at least 15,000 steps, and I don't have to do, you know I don't know, I'll play golf soon, and we'll track how many steps I do while I play golf.
Yeah.
We'll do it
I think
that
that's a
way, and we'll
lot. 11,
see.
11 to 12 miles of walking is not a bad day.
No, I'm not saying it's nothing, and I think walking I mean, it's different. I walk a course, I actually pull my bag. He's
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
like, he's not doing anything. He's, you know,
No, he's
chewing
doing
on a
something. He's
banana,
winning the Masters. What the fuck are you doing?
over
You're carrying your own bag for a reason, buddy.
That's the difference between the 2 of us. That's the only thing holding me back. If I had a caddy, I'd be unstoppable.
But you'd be broke because you know how much you have to pay him and then the manager and then your agent.
I'd be fine. It's percentage of winnings, so everyone's getting 0. It's the accounting process is super simple. Speaking of, our sporting ventures, just a little bit of a different speed episode, I suppose, if anyone is a new listener in terms of we've done lots of Whoop data plus travel logistics, and now I'll throw in some paddle talk.
I mean,
I'm
these are
having
our
to
favorites, though.
yeah, we're playing the hits. I'm giving my paddle morning group a little bit of a break. I've decided
Oh,
yeah,
these are the shitty players.
less good players, I'll describe them that way.
Good.
But
They're not listeners.
no, I've never mentioned to them that I'm in any way involved in a podcast because I know I speak about playing paddle too much, and I don't want to recommend that someone tune in and then immediately be like, "Those guys suck at paddle."
Yeah.
So, uh, e a couple of them are very competitive, which I don't mind. As we've discussed in the past, it's always a little bit weird to me when guys are getting, like, really competitive about what is just a casual meetup, like, you know,
Yes.
nice way to get your morning started is sort of how I feel about it. I don't care if I win, I don't care if I lose. I don't really even need to keep score. It's just, you know, there to kind of take part. But they've started to the couple of competitive guys have started to freeze me out of rallies too much. I
Why?
understand it because that's the only
Because
way
you'll
they can
win.
win. Yeah. But I'm still trying to be nice. Like, my goal is to put the ball back in play. I'm not just like, "Oh, smash, winner." Like, I'm trying to keep the rally going. But there was a solid so I played with them on Tuesday, and then I played with them again yesterday morning, and in the hour that we played, there was probably a solid 30 minutes where aside from serving and then when they were serving to me and I had to hit my return, I don't think I hit another ball.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean,
And
this
so I
happens in pickleball too. Like the same like what you're saying, where it's just like an open play day, and people get so competitive that they like will refuse to hit to the better person and like expose the bad person. It's like, dude, we're just here to have fun and get better. Like
yeah.
whether you win or lose this has no bearing on anything that's happening right now. Like, let's just all have fun. Like, you want to hit a good shot and like get a winner, that's fine. I don't care. Like, if you don't want to like extend a rally and you're like, oh, I've got an opening, I'm gonna take it. That's fine. But at the same time, don't like be like, hey, don't hit to that person. Like, hit to the weaker
Yes,
person. We can beat this team. We can beat them. Hit it to the weaker person. Like, I don't
which I'm
care.
hearing.
I don't care if I fucking win. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
even
you can see them they'll lose a point and be like, "Don't hit to Edward, like, we'll win
yeah.
if we don't do that." It's like, "Guys, what do you care?" And also too, as you like, they're not that great. They should be focusing on trying to get better. And so playing with someone better than you is one of the good ways to do that. The other thing too is, which I've said to them, I was like, you can win points doing the wrong thing to the technically the right person. So playing to the weaker player. But if you want to get better, you're going to have to get better by doing the right thing to the right person. So if the rally requires that you hit cross court, but you decide to hit it like to go at the person at the net because you know that they'll miss the volley, that's fine. You win that point. But if you do that when there are two good players across from you, you'll lose the point. So you can either try and play the point the right way and then win some, lose some, and get better as a result, or just stick at the level you were going to be at now and get to walk away at 9:45 on a Tuesday morning, fist pumping because you won 6-1 against by like avoiding playing good players.
Yeah. Yeah, it is annoying. Like, even when we have our league play where your rating can change, it changes very minimally because it's like a league play and not like a tournament. But even in those ones, I'll still just play to play until maybe the very end. Like if it's the last point or two, and I know like I have a weaker person where I can kind of expose to get a win. Okay, that's fine. But like throughout the match, I'm just trying to hit exactly what you said, like hit what would be the right shot to get better at hitting the right shot than being like, oh, I'm just gonna dink on this shit guy because I know he can't dink me back. Like there's no point in that because like a good person will literally just take that out of the air and smash it in my fucking face. Like,
Yeah.
like I got to start learning how to hit the right shot.
So I said this, I raised this. I was like, look, guys, there's no point in me coming if you're just gonna like it's not fun for me. I'm not
Ooh, you
moving.
called him out.
I
Wait, did
called
you
him
call him
out.
out in person or on
Oh
text?
yeah, yeah, in person. In
Like
person.
mid
I said, like, look,
like mid game or like once the game ended?
mid game. I said, like, look, guys, there's no point in me coming to this if this is what's going to happen because I was like, this isn't fun. I'm not getting any exercise because I'm not
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
because you're not hitting it to me. So, like, what's the point in me being here? If it's going to be like this,
Now are they
I'll give it a
asking you
break
to
for a while.
play?
I mean, we're in a group chat. I think some of them enjoy it more than others that I play. Again, there's the guys who want to win, who I think are a little bit happier if I don't show up. To gauge the competitiveness level of one of them in particular, for example. So there's a range of ages. There's one or two of them who are let's say early 30s, and then the oldest guy is 67. But he was obviously like he's the guy who was in the Winter Olympics. He's a good athlete,
Yeah.
but both of his knees are pretty shot. But like if you hit it to him, he's a good player. But like if you hit a drop shot, you're winning the point. Like he's a 67-year-old with two fucked knees. So like he's not chasing. He'll give it a go, but he's probably not getting there. The one guy who when I called them out, his defense to me was, I'm not good enough. Like I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not good enough. I can't control where I'm hitting it. Which I said to him, I was like, that makes sense if you're always hitting cross court. So then if you serve to the other guy, you
Yeah.
only have a cross court rally because that's all you can do. But then that would mean you play me cross court too. Like you can't be you. I
Yeah.
was like, come on, like give me a break. And then I had to call him out too because then to the 67-year-old, like who I usually play with because it sort of levels the teams a bit. He
Yeah.
hits like drop shot serves, which already are a dick move.
Ah.
Like everyone's going to kind of call you. You're going to be like, really, this is how you're going to win. But it's like, you're going to do it to the guy who kind of can't get there. You're not doing it to me because you'll lose the point straight away. So you also can't pretend as if like, I'm just trying to learn the skill. It's like, you're not. You're being an asshole. So this morning I gave him a miss and I then turned up to play with some better guys who play immediately after they play. So I then like sat and watched the final 10 minutes of them all playing because I was waiting for the court and, said hello to them and stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to give him a few weeks of, I'm going to travel anyway. So I'll be away. So it's easy for me to, I won't be missing out on playing time through that anyway. But the other issue, and maybe you see this a lot in paddle, the epidemic of
Pickleball,
like
I mean.
compression in pickleball of
Yeah.
compression tights.
Oh God.
I don't
Don't get me started.
I don't know why people decided this is a good look. I
Don't get
get
me
it. Look,
started.
if
With
it's
with shorts over it? With shorts over it, right?
yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
I would respect it more if no shorts over it. You're just
Yeah,
showing
me
up in
too.
fucking leggings, then that's
Yep.
you know what? If that's your look, good for you. But yeah, the shorts over it, sometimes just the one compression leg, like just
Uh,
doing it that like, oh, and I don't know who to blame. I don't think maybe Nick Kyrgios because he kind of made that part of his style. I don't know who it is. And don't the only time I'll give you a pass is like if for whatever reason you're playing an outdoor game in Minnesota and it's pretty cold and it's someone who like doesn't want to wear sweats, likes wearing
just wear
shorts,
sweats
and
then.
then just wear sweats. I agree
Just
with
wear
you, but
sweats.
that's the only way, the only circumstances where I'd be like, okay, maybe. But when you're doing it in the summer, like right now, it's April, full spring here, basically summer weather, and I still show up and these guys have fucking compression tights on, some of them with one leg. A lot of the
Yeah.
old guys too, where you're like, you definitely didn't do this when you were young. These things have only been in existence for like 10 years. So you've decided this is like the cool is a lot of old guys trying to look young and nothing makes you look older. Like it'll be like a
Yeah.
60-year-old guy with a backwards hat on, compression tights, like pink shoes that he's paid way too much money for. Yeah, it pisses me off straight away.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it either. I completely agree with you. You see it in pickleball, which is even crazier because it's indoor and people will wear it. And it's like, why are you wearing this? Like, you look like
I
an
don't
idiot.
I don't know what they think it's doing.
They
Like
think it's probably like better circulation for your legs. If it's not.
or somehow reducing the risk of injury through,
Yeah,
I don't
it's not.
I I don't get it, but it
I
really
don't either.
bothers me.
Yeah. It's sort of akin to the changing culture of like the gym where like people used to just throw on a t-shirt and a pair of shorts and go to the gym and do their workout. And now it's like I legitimately see people doing their hair in the mirror before they go work out with like a tripod, a special shirt they have on, and then like a hoodie that they have on for like the first two exercises and then will always specifically take it off when they get to like a certain exercise. It's like, you have wardrobe changes for your fucking lifts? Like, are you kidding me? What the fuck is going on here? Like it's gotten really, really bad.
Yeah. I'm at my gym and I've kind of shifted over. If you imagine my gym, I'm kind of exclusively now just in the sort of free weights section of mine when I'm like exercising. And there's some guys there
You mean
who are
like that
in,
side room? That little side room?
yeah, the side
Okay.
room and where like the bench press and the squat
Yeah,
rack
yeah.
and all that stuff is. And then, so like you kind of, there's definitely a big shift in terms of the more casual gym
The
goers do not
machines.
step. Yeah, they're all in, everyone else is in the machine territory, and so you kind of have this immediate separation as soon as you sort of cross this invisible line. I mostly hate everybody who's then in that section because they're taking themselves way too seriously. They're annoying to deal with. You can tell they're very competitive in terms of like monitoring what other people are lifting and what you're
Yeah.
doing. There's the guys there who want to come up and tell people like, actually you'd like work that muscle out better if you did this exercise instead of that one. And it's like, and no one's ever done that to me. I've just observed it happening to various people, and
You
the
just do it to
reaction is
everyone
all
else.
yeah, the reaction from the other person, the other recipient, is always the same of like, thank you. We've never spoken before. I have no idea who you are. I'm happy doing the exercise that I'm doing, but thank you for the unsolicited advice. I will
Yeah.
guess maybe pretend to listen to you now for 30 seconds. But the number of people, I now have this one guy who comes at like the same time as me most days. He wears like a Bluetooth one ear like like headset. He looks like not visually, but in terms of the setup, he looks like the Tom Cruise character from Tropic Thunder. Like that he's
Yeah.
gonna like tap it to like start the call.
Yeah.
And then he takes calls. He'll be like bench pressing and he'll
Uh,
take a call while he's benching, but with this ridiculous as if he's in a call center. Like it's one thing I don't like the call someone taking a call at any time. It's one thing if you're doing that with your normal headphones on, to actually have been prepared for it as if like, "This is my office." Like, I come with something that is not good for listening to music because it's one ear, but it's great for taking calls.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people now at the gym who will have whole workouts while on the phone. It's fucking insane. People are just crazy nowadays. It's gotten so weird. So actually, I wanted to bring this up. This is uh what's the etiquette on this? So the gym I go to, so this is also what's kind of weird that's shifted a lot in America. You don't see it as much because I've been to your gym and I know that people still just drop shorts and get changed in the locker room. And that's fine. That's like what a locker room's for, right? Like in the States now, like people don't get undressed in locker rooms more often than not. Like, and especially depending on the type of place you're going to. Like, if you're going to, let's say, like a big commercial gym, like a Lifetime Fitness that has a lot of elderly members, and things like that, they still will do that. Like where there's like 1,000 lockers, and all that. But if you go to a smaller gym or like a powerlifting gym or like just like not like a chain gym, you don't really see people getting changed in locker rooms. Like they'll literally go in and like be already dressed and like take off their jeans and have like shorts underneath. I grew up playing sports and everything. Like I'm used to going to a locker room or like coming from work and having to change into my gym clothes. But I genuinely don't know what to do in the locker room of this gym I'm in, which is an amazing gym, powerlifting, like huge dudes, like super athletic people, like a great gym. But you get into the locker room and it's like I have to wait until everyone kind of leaves to get changed, not because I'm embarrassed, but because I feel like you're not supposed to get naked in the gym and get changed. So I don't know what to do. Like, and you can't ask. Like, I can't go to front desk and be like,
"Hey,
"Hey,
guys,
are
am I
we
am I
allowed?
okay to get
Are we
naked?"
allowed? Are we allowed to walk around naked in this gym, like in the locker room, or just the gym in general? Like, can I do a bench press with no pants on?" But so it's that part alone is really strange. And they have two showers, which makes it even weirder. But the showers have curtains, and I think people like will get changed. It's like a big
In the
shower where you can
shower.
like shower, and then like there's a spot where like the shower won't hit. So oftentimes, if there are people in the locker room, I'll have to like go into the shower and change behind the curtain because I genuinely like I don't know. I've never seen anyone else change. So I don't know what people do. And I don't want to like just drop like my pants and have some guy be like, "Hey man, come on. Like what's going on here?"
The thing I love about this too, to kind of give like listeners a better understanding of this is a nice gym, but it's a pretty rustic gym. Like it's
Yeah.
not like you would expect people to be going to this gym to be like it's not grimy,
Train
but
to
but
train.
yeah,
It's like a real
to
person's gym. Yeah.
yes. It's
Exactly.
not fancy. It's not like, yeah, oh, I don't want to see people naked. This is why I go to this gym. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here is the opposite culturally. Like everyone's
Yeah.
naked all the time, like
Yes.
too much. Where it's
No,
again, I have no issue with it. That's what a changing room is for. People get
yeah.
changed. You take out, you towel down, whatever you're gonna, like at mine, plenty of people are showering, so they're coming back to their locker after their shower, and they're just standing there naked, and they're having a conversation with people.
I think that see now I think there's a line. I
There's a
think a
middle
lot
ground.
of there, I think a lot of Europe and particularly your gym crosses that line. Like, and I think that's a European thing. Like, I mean that as an
Yeah, yeah,
American, I think that crosses the line. But as a European, most Europeans are probably like, no, that's normal. Like, we're just two naked men standing next to each other having a conversation. Whereas in America, it's like you can get naked and get changed, but like just put pants on and then tell me about your day. Like I don't need you to
yes,
be like throwing your hands around, like being
yeah.
demonstrative while you're naked telling a story. Like let's relax it a little bit.
No, I mean they're especially the older guys. And again, like, it doesn't bother me at all, and that's what the changing room's for, and that's what the showers are for, and people are showering and then wandering back with a towel around them, sometimes no towel around them, back to
Yeah.
their locker, and then they're standing there's not a huge amount of space, they are not there's stacked lockers. So you might be wanting to access the locker underneath, and the guy above you is like just standing there naked, and you're like, "Excuse me, I need to get my stuff." And they won't really, they'll move, politely move out of your way, but they're not moving that far. But there's a middle ground where it's like, you don't need to be hiding that you're getting naked, but definitely when the moment comes where you could throw some underwear on, throw it
Yeah.
on. Like
Yeah.
but, like, that's all I ask is like, yeah, take as long as you need to get yourself dry. But once you've decided that you're dry, you can now finish the conversation with some pants on. Like
Yeah.
it seems a little strange. Like they're same with, I don't get the naked sauna guys. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Weird. That's weird. Just throw a towel on,
I
man.
don't, I don't know what I don't know what the benefit is. I mean, I go into the sauna wearing either a pair of shorts or like my, again, like my like the compression
Spandex.
pants, like
Yeah.
underwear. Like I'm doing one of those two things. If you're going in naked, then in the very least have a big towel and have that fully wrapped around your waist.
Yeah.
There are guys who come in no towel, no nothing, just,
That's
and it's like
crazy.
now your gross ass cheeks, they're just sweating all over the place. Like,
Yeah. Are
and
you
then
worried
some
about
guy will come
burns?
late. So, some guy will come and lay and just like have the back of his head now where your fucking ass and balls were resting 30 seconds before. It's like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. So here's the actual question I had for you though. So I didn't even get to lay out so that's how my gym operates. Yesterday there was so also the reason I don't think most people change or can change is that the way that the locker room is, there's like a door to get into it that's always open. It's like propped open. And if you're walking by, you can see probably, I don't know, 60 to 70% of the locker room. So I think that deters a lot of people from getting naked. There's still a significant part where if you're just on the one side of it, no one can see you. You're blocked by like the lockers, so it's fine. But maybe that's a reason why where it's like this isn't a true locker room because it's always open or whatever. I don't know, but there's no one really getting naked. Anyway, there are like one or two folding chairs in there that you can like sit down and put your shoes on. There was a kid in there. I don't know what's call him. I don't know, 20 years old, there, just sitting in the locker room on his phone on FaceTime. To me,
Okay.
whether you're getting naked or not, one, you shouldn't just be sitting. I think it's weird for you to just be sitting in a locker room. Like there are legitimate couches out in like the lobby area and tables and chairs and everything. Like you shouldn't be like hanging around in a locker room. I think that's weird in general. And like it's not it might make people a little uncomfortable that you're just kind of just sitting there in a locker room. Number one. Number two, you're on your phone. That's also kind of weird. Having a conversation in a locker room is weird. Number three, on FaceTime. So you have a camera element going on in a locker room. This is the closest I've ever been to saying something to someone to be like, hey man, like, are you on FaceTime in a locker room? Like maybe just take that out into the fucking lobby, not where people are like peeing, shitting, and getting changed. Like,
I don't know why you would
let's
lead with the peeing and shitting. Like,
because people don't really get naked, but
because
they pee and shit in there.
I know. What do you be like? Hey man, if you're like in a stall shitting, you're like, is that guy outside on FaceTime? Is he? but but yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's a big no-no. And especially you'd think in the US, I would imagine if you had gone to your gym and said this guy was FaceTiming in the locker room, I mean, I think he's gone. Like I
He's
think
dead.
that's they would I just think from their perspective, that would be such a concern over
Yeah.
like, oh, we could get in so much trouble. Like if someone now complains that, yeah, your fucking dick got caught on FaceTime and then someone possibly could screenshot that, record that, who knows what, you'd be in huge trouble. So
Crazy.
that's an insane move for sure.
Crazy. I think even just being on a phone in general in the locker room is also kind of weird.
Like on a phone
Like,
call.
yeah, like don't be in a like, but just like sitting there on a phone call. Like if you're getting changed and someone calls, you're like, oh hey, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
like whatever. But like if you're just sitting in a locker room hanging out, like entertaining phone calls, like come on.
I never sit. Yeah, I mean, I'll finish, and then yeah, as I'm sitting, kind of like maybe I'm drying off. I may sit on my phone, but not on a phone call. But you may be like sitting there for a second, just like waiting to before you like start putting clothes on. But I would never take a phone call. I mean, I don't really take many phone calls in the first place, but I definitely, if I chose to take a phone call, that would not be the place where I decided to take it.
But
So, well,
this is also one of those stupid, like, 20-year-old things where, like, kids are just on phone
that's
calls to be
normal.
on phone calls. You know what I mean? Like, they'll
Oh,
just sit on a phone call for, like,
FaceTiming.
hours, FaceTime for hours. It's like it was
Yeah.
one of those things, and it's like, "Dude, just take this outside, man."
No, the people FaceTiming, like walking through a supermarket and they're FaceTiming at the same time. I don't understand it. I know this is a real old man yelling at the sky kind of thing, but I understand the benefit of FaceTime in that it allows you to see someone and there's an expressive element to that. But when you're then just gonna FaceTime, but put your phone, like, down, and it's just their face kinda stuck there staring at, like, the ceiling as you push your cart through the just fucking have a normal phone call. What's You're not benefiting from
Yeah.
the additional
Or
technology at that point. Just
or just,
don't.
like, why do people have to be on the phone? Like, because a lot of times they're on a conversation and they're not even talking. Like, you can see when
Yeah.
I that's what bothers me the most, when people are just on a FaceTime and then they're just like, one person's watching a TV show and the other person is, like, doing supermarket grocery shopping, and then occasionally they're just like, "Oh, apples. Cool. You like apples? Yeah, okay, okay. Go back to watching your
How about
show."
them apples? Oh.
Thank you.
See if they were doing that, if that's all they were doing every FaceTime. I How'd you like them apples, huh? Like, that might be worth it if that was just his running gag,
Uh.
just trying to set it up every day. "Oh, Frank, you're in the supermarket again. You gotta do the apples bit to me. I'll play along. This makes your day." Now, what made me laugh yesterday, I was in the gym, a guy was working out in a PSG top. A lot of people at the gym work out in various football tops. He was in his PSG top. Obviously, PSG were playing yesterday, and I finished in the gym at, like, 7:30. So I'm guessing from there, he was gonna head straight to a bar or wherever a friend's house to watch the game. He
Yeah.
he he and I were, like, in sync in terms of how we were finishing our workout, then going to the changing rooms, and getting changed. And so I just happened to notice that I'd seen him work out in a white PSG top, and then as he was getting changed, he put on, like, his fancy PSG top to obviously go out to a bar and watch the game, and for
Did you say
whatever
something?
reason, I no, but I just found it very funny. Like, there's no reason why that's particularly dumb, but it was just funny to me where it's like, "Oh, changing out of the one when you're not a," it's like, you don't play for the team. You don't need to be
How
24/7 in PSG gear.
was one like their, like, training uniform and the other, like, their official,
No,
like that would have been hysterical.
that would
If
have
he
been.
trains in their training shirt and then he actually goes out in their official jersey.
There is a guy who comes and plays paddle in the full, like, PSG tracksuit. It's a real loser look.
Oh,
Like,
that's funny.
I can get buying the tracksuit, maybe, and then but you gotta split the
Yeah, yeah.
items. You can't turn up looking as if you're in the pre-match warm-up for PSG. It's a tough look as, like, a 42-year-old man.
Alright, I guess with all that locker room talk, maybe we'll, call it a day.
Yeah, I'll quickly say I did wrap up, Jury Duty season 2. There's no way that guy didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think we pretty much I'm gonna say I don't think any opinions or things that we discussed on from the last one changed since you finished it. It's pretty much exactly how
No.
what we said.
And the only depressing thing to me was that 10,000 people applied for this temp job. Like, what a sad
Yeah.
reflection of the state of affairs that there's that many applicants for a fucking temp job in LA. But the fact that I then thought about it too as I was watching it, he was a lot younger than I thought he was gonna be. Like, the fact that he turned out to be 25, I thought he was in his early 30s, sort of
So did I.
watching the
He looks
show.
older than 25.
But then in my mind too, I was like, "Oh, the other reason why this makes even more sense for him to really go above and beyond to go along with this, he's a 25-year-old temp in the LA area. He's almost certainly an aspiring actor."
Yeah.
And this and this is his chance to like get a lot of time on tape, not in terms of, oh, they'll cast me in something because of this, but in terms of, look, I knew it was a fake. Look at me acting like a good guy here. Look at me acting shocked. Look at me acting surprised. Like,
I think the line that solidifies that is when he like looks at the CEO who's about to retire. He's like, "Listen to me, father to father. Just listen to me." Like, I don't think, even if I had a dozen kids, I don't think I'd ever say that to anyone.
also never mentioned his kids at any other point.
No,
Like there was
never
the
mentioned he even
maybe
had
didn't even
kids.
have kids.
He probably doesn't. That's why he wants to be an aspiring actor. He just came up with that line off the fly.
Yeah. No, it's and again, fine, but I think in a sense, if you're going to do this show, do it away from LA. Like, you're much more likely to get people like normal people who maybe are less suspicious of the fact that this is some kind of prank show, reality show, whatever it is. Like, if you went and filmed that in some random if you went and filmed that in Lexington, Kentucky, I think there's a much better chance it would be a lot weirder for someone to think I'm part of a TV show. But once you realize that it's also being done in LA, I would very quickly be like, "Hmm, I think this something's up here, and I'm gonna be on my best behavior as a result."
Yeah,
And I
for
do
sure.
appreciate when they show the behind the scenes. I'm not that interested in they talk about it too uh, all the other criticisms. They talk about it as if this was some sort of military operation that was so difficult to pull off. It doesn't seem that hard to me to really just, like, set up a bunch of cameras and then have some actors go along with it. Doesn't seem I'm not getting caught out whilst pretending to be Steve by you, and like, that isn't that tough.
I
The
think the
actors
hardest
who
part
res
is I think the hardest part is, like, knowing where the hidden cameras are and getting people on their right marks so that, like, you actually get a good shot of him and stuff like that. That
Yeah,
probably was a little difficult to be like, "Actually, you need to find a way to get him from there to come over to here because that's where we have the camera." So, like, find a way to like that was probably the more difficult part. Not like the, like,
sure.
don't break character. I could go into a new character tomorrow and I could
Well,
hold that character for years.
yeah, we have friends who've done that,
I
and
was to
then
say, Tim would be amazing for this show.
oh, he'd be too real. They'd stop the show midway through filming.
the
But
the the guy they hire,
the
he'd be
other
like, "Wait, why are you now a WWE fighter? Yesterday you were this guy."
the other thing too is the actors reacting at the end of it, like the tears and the
Oh,
"You
that was
changed my
weird.
life." The one woman saying, "I don't have a son, but if I did, I would want him to be like you. Like, you're the best person I could imagine." And him responding with, like, "If you had sons, they'd be better people than me." That's an exchange. Like, I can't imagine being on either side of that conversation, and I can't
Yeah.
imagine saying either of the things that either of those
Or
people said.
how about the what is it? Dougie is the son, and Dougie and him being like, "Man, like we became really good friends, and like even not acting, like I still feel like you're my friend." Like,
See,
what?
the only
How?
thing I will say there is, I think you have to say that because the one thing you risk is that that guy was like, this, "Oh, I really liked this guy." Like, you could imagine a scenario where the guy's like, "I've made a new friend. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, whoa." And then you realize that it's all acting. It's like, I don't have any friends, it turns out. So I do
Yeah.
think that statement I can at least defend
Yeah,
of the,
maybe
"Hey, I know
why
I
he
was."
says it, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I wouldn't really be like, we're best friends now." But the people crying, "Oh, we learned so much from you. You're the best person ever. You're better than we could have imagined." What were you imagining? Like, the only thing that made me laugh is when he said when she said, "If I had a son, I would want him to be like you." And then he said, "Your sons, if you had sons, they would be better than me." As if he then just dropped some like awful, like, "I've killed 7 hookers." Like, if it was just, it was like, I know you guys think I'm a good guy. I am a absolute piece of shit.
I know you guys think I'm really nice and friendly and personable. I was one night away from murdering every one of you. It's like you guys didn't see my secret journal. You were all fucking dead tomorrow morning. In fact,
In
the show
fact.
really fucked up by cutting this off early because they would have had one hell of a conclusion.
No, they're like, actually, 3 members of the film crew did go missing during filming. Like, it's just like, it's just an insane I think I could imagine being really fun to be as an actor and maybe being a bit emotional when it ended because it's a TV show and you're hoping it's a big part of your career and, sort of, "Oh, that thing I worked a months on is wrapping up." I'm not crying, but I could get being like, "Oh." But but they were treating this kid as if he was just the most special person on earth, and it's like, you never really asked him to do anything particularly heroic or special. Like, he
Just
didn't
to
save
like,
someone's life.
just kind of be accepting of people, of like people being weird and different. That's about it.
Yeah. Yep. Basically.
Oh, and
And
actually, since you did finish it, the line that I thought was actually the funniest line of, or like the sequence, was when the weird IT girl who's like attracted to the boss asks about what type of crab it is. And she was like, I don't know. It's like the good crab. And she was like, she doesn't even know what kind of crab it is. And she said she likes crab. Like that was, I thought for some reason, I thought that was like the best line of the whole show. And she gets like really offended and pissed off and then like doesn't like her anymore because of that. I thought that was actually really funny.
yeah, no, there were good elements of the show, and if there's
But
a
again,
season 3
that had nothing to
with
do with like the like
him,
fake
the premise.
aspect of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like a written line, like The Office. That's what makes it like weird.
Yeah, which is the funny thing about the show is, like, it's spun as this, sort of Truman Show-esque experience, which obviously it is, but then at the same time, it's like, well, but 40% of the show is as if you're watching the Truman Show without Truman there.
Yeah.
So at which point you're just watching a scripted show. You're not
Yeah.
watching this sort of
And not a
human
very good
study.
scripted show. Like
No,
most of the lines didn't land.
no. But yeah, if there's season 3, I'll watch it. It'll be interesting to see how they can if they can keep the premise going in different
I'm with you. I
scenarios.
think you got to try and find someone in like, let's just say, the Great Plains who does even have a television. You got to get someone kind of
Yeah.
unhooked.
Or just do like, I don't even know why you had to kinda do this setup. Do like a fucking cruise and then just have everybody else on the cruise be an actor.
Entire cruise. How much money do you have? Let's
No, but it could be a
forget
small
that. Let's
cruise.
just do an entire island. Let's like buy an island,
Yeah.
have him win a free vacation, and have everyone on the island be like fucking insane.
Yeah, but I mean, a hotel, you could do something. You could do some small thing where you just need 4 days of that person being the only person there who isn't in on the bit. I don't know. Again, I'm not making the TV show, but yeah, you gotta ditch the LA thing. Because the other thing ultimately, the other risk as well, and this is what surprises me about continuing with LA, is that some of the actors in it, in both seasons, I've recognized from other things. Like
Oh, I didn't recognize anyone this one.
this year I didn't recognize any of the main crew, but for example, Lisa Gilroy she was the woman who came and did the seminar where she was
Okay.
the blonde woman. And I've seen Lisa Gilroy. I mean, she's in Scrubs this season. She's in this season of Shrinking. She's also like, I see internet clips of her in terms of she's on podcasts that I listen to where she does improv and stuff. If that's me, even if I was buying it up to then, there'd be this moment where like, that's fucking Lisa Gilroy. Like,
Yeah, it's true though, because I remember that I recognized the musician they brought. What was her name? Sia? I remember her. No, I'm kidding. I recognize her.
that
All right. Well, with that, then we'll call it a day.
sounds good.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Cheerio.